And our top story takes us straight to Gabon, where Gabonese President Ali Bongo has declared that he will run for a third term in office. The president made his intention known to his supporters when he gave a rare appearance at his party's Congress on the 54th anniversary of the ruling Gabonese Democratic Party. Bongo, who is gradually overcoming his health challenges, says he is more than convinced that the Gabonese people will support his ambition.
Chers camarades, 2023 approche à grands pas. Je serai là avec vous. Je serai là avec vous, pour vous. La seule issue sera la victoire. Une victoire franche, nette, indiscutable, pour que le travail commencé soit achevé.
Le 54e anniversaire du PDG est le prétexte qui nous est donné pour rassembler comme un seul homme les soldats d'élite de notre parti en vue des batailles qui pointent à l'horizon 2023.
And that's Ali Bongo right there, who is saying that he's going for another term. Oluchi, he is not deterred. He's ready to go for another one, and possibly looking at the fact that he says the Gabonese people will definitely support him.
Well, he's not the first African leader who wants to sit on his position for as long as possible. We have the likes of Paul Biya, who is right now one of the African leaders who has been in that position for over 35 to 40 years and counting. So trust me, the Gabon president, bring it on. Will the people accept him is one question. How has he affected the economy of Gabon? I mean, looking at the implications from COVID-19 and right now with the fuel prices on the rise in the continent and beyond, how has he helped the economy? How has he ensured that the economy has become stable now that we're post-COVID and we're gradually easing out of that COVID phase?
But one thing that also strikes me is the fact that this is someone who's actually struggling with his health.
He's not the first, Joe. Come on.
How is it possible that you have health challenges and you might just, that could be an indication that you probably need to rest and take some time off that political chair and let someone else do the walking and the talking and the commanding? But hey, we'll bring an update on that story much more. Don't forget, he's looking forward to run for another term, and he's definitely not the first. Well, South Africa first, by the way, let's bring you another story. After intense negotiations and uncertainty, finally a coalition of political parties have settled on Raila Amolo Odinga as its presidential flag bearer under the outfit Azimio One Kenya Coalition. The Orange Democratic Movement leader received grand endorsement to be the presidential candidate, where he is expected to tussle with United Democratic Alliance candidate William Ruto in the country's upcoming August 2022 general elections. Well, Oluchi, we do have our Kenyan correspondent who joins us here this morning, Abdinoor Aden. Thank you so much for being here on News Central. Let's take a look at what's going on in your country, just behind you, your backyard, or you could say your environment. We now know that it is Raila versus Ruto. We always knew it was going to be Raila versus Ruto, by the way, so it may not come as a surprise to most of us. But Kenya Kwanza versus Azimio. How did Kenya settle for these two political parties and leaders?
A very good morning to you two, Oluchi and Joe Hansen. It has indeed been a journey that takes us back to 2005 when we had the campaigns for the referendum, the new constitution which we currently use, and we had the banana versus the orange faction. Ironically, the UDA's colors are banana colors, which was actually the colors being used for the yes for the constitution at that time, and the orange which was for no. And this has now come in 2022 materializing into a political contest where we have Ruto versus Raila, Azimio versus Kenya Kwanza. And this is a long-standing battle between two heavyweights who were in the 2007 general elections, colleagues who were under the same political faction during the 2007-2008, which led to the first grand coalition government through the handshake.
Yes, that handshake that stunned the whole world, not just the country as well. But can you tell us about the coalitions that has happened now? We know that Ukuru Kenyatta has now come out to declare Odinga as the person that will take over from him. But in addition to that, some other political parties have joined forces with those two major parties. Can you tell us about the coalition and how this will change the dynamics of the August polls?
In the 2017 and in the 2013, we've also had similar coalitions. We had Raila, checking on Raila Odinga's part, we had the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy Code Coalition. Then later we had the National Super Alliance, NASA, which they used in the 2017 general elections. At the moment now we have the same Raila team, we're having the Azimio Coalition. On the other hand, under Raila's Azimio Coalition, we have 15 political outfits that have come together to sign an agreement on the 12th of March, which is actually a day that is going to be remembered in Kenya's history. And on the other part, we have William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza, which has also brought a different number of parties. But then again, what we are all expecting for now is to see how this plays out during and after the elections.
All right, now looking at the situation of things, especially with President Kenyatta and Raila right now as it is, we know that these two, they've always had a love-hate relationship, even going as far back as their fathers. When their fathers were politicians, there was always that animosity between these two. But right now, we're seeing them joining forces together. It is coming as a surprise, especially when the vice president also has come out to declare his own bid for presidency. But how are Kenyans really reacting to these formations and the fact that no one so far has announced their running mate, especially at this point in time? We're counting down to August, or is it too soon?
Well, it's not too soon. I think everybody is holding their cards close to their chest because the running mate is also going to determine in convincing Kenyans which side to cast their vote for. But we've had a former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President Ukuru Kenyatta recently publicly share their journey to the handshake, where they said, President Uhuru said that he ignored advice that he received to jail Raila for treason after he had sworn in himself as the people's president. And at the same time, Raila said that he denied and he turned against the advice where people advised him to have them put up his portrait in their offices and ignore the president's portrait. So they say theirs was a journey to unite Kenyans, considering the country's previous history of tribalism playing out in the national politics. Therefore, many Kenyans have welcomed this. And considering we have a few months to the general elections, none has released the names of their running mate. And we expect the same, that to be disclosed in a few weeks or months' time, because currently we have Raila Odinga's travel to the UK and Ruto is just back from the United States. So therefore, there are wide consultations going on, and there's going to be some power sharing expected under the coalitions, with the BBI expected to come into play under the Azimio. But of course, not much has been said about the William Ruto side of the political contest in terms of who's going to be the running mate and what strategies they are going to use to quell out tensions and fallouts under their coalitions.
All right, Abdinoor, Raila and Ruto have a long history, like Oluchi has rightly mentioned. But what kind of battle should we expect?
A very, very tough battle, because they say it's a story of the students trying to outshine the master, because we know William Ruto has been a very loyal political colleague to Raila Odinga previously under the opposition, and they've worked together under the 2007, 2008 general elections. But we expect very heavy duel, even though recently held or recently released poll results have shown varying results in different regions, with Ruto having strongholds in one end, Raila having strongholds in other areas of the country. But we expect a very tough battle. But one thing that is going to determine the outcome of all this battle is the issue of the running mate, and also the issue of what happens between now and July. Of course, we have March 26th, the deadline set for politicians to clear the party they're going to use for their elections. So it's going to be an interesting contest, but you know, the current narrative in the country is that we cannot have two tribes ruling the country for nearly 60 years now, speaking of the Kikuyu and the Kalenjin part. So the President Uhuru Kenyatta, actually, that is one of the narrative he's been saying. He wants to leave Kenya under safe hands and leave the country united by making sure power rotates to different parts of the country. But many hold the president has to fulfill the promise he made that he'll rule for 10 years and hand over to Ruto for another 10 years. So it's a narrative after the other, but we'll see.
All right, Abdinoor, let me take you to the papers that we took a look at this morning. Particularly, let's take a look at the Daily Nation, of course, obviously from Kenya. There's this big headline looking at the running mate as well. Malala is also talking, and he's saying why Mudavadi must be Ruto's deputy. Now, he's actually, the question is he testing the waters or spoiling for a fight by demanding that ANC leader be the Kenya Kwanza ruling mate? Malala is actually set to the stage for a supremacy battle. What do you make out of this statement from Malala saying Mudavadi must actually be selected? Is it a case of just wanting to join forces?
By the way, actually, that statement was really trending, and people are saying that the chicken has come home to roost, because this was something they were supposed to make initially before joining the Kenya Kwanza coalition. But now we've had one of the famous names in the Ruto's coalition, known as the Rigathi Gachagua. He had said that nobody has been promised the deputy president's position. So anyone who joined this vehicle joined it at their own consent. Therefore, nobody was promised any position. But of course, we expect similar sentiments to come out from the political belongings in the country, because it's all about the bargaining power. But on the other hand, the headline that is Uhuru versus Ruto, actually that is the same way the political contest has been framed, but it's something that we are expecting to see where it heads to. But President Kenyatta has said he's now rolled his sleeves, ready to roll in the ring in the elections, because he said previously it was service delivery, but now he says he's ready to fully enter the campaigns.
All right, we will be following this situation, but thank you for your insights, Abdinoor Aden, our East African correspondent.